So you can see now, basically, let me just shut this off. Yeah, makes it easier. So I've got my battery prepared, obviously. Ooh, sugar. Keep banging my head on the roof, on the wheels. This is actually the car that it's out of. So what we've done basically is we've done all the nuts. You've got to be careful. Make sure you use a reasonable quality set, and be careful when you're undoing them, because some of them are actually locked on, and so you have to just break them. You know, I've got a small wrench like this, and I basically just put it in like that, and then just give it a gentle tap just to undo it. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing you, am I? I just give it a gentle tap just to break it. You know, very, very gentle. You go through all of them like that to make sure they're all broken. Right, the seal's broken essentially, and then I can use a drill, basically just to go across all of them and just get them all off. And I put nuts on the top sort of thing just so I know where they came from. Not that it matters, because they're all the same, they're all 8 mils. Then remove the connectors here, okay, and then I always put them all back on, because if I lose one of them, then you're screwed, aren't you, really, if you don't have like a stash. I'm sure if it was at Toyota, they'll probably have a box of these things, so it won't matter if they lose them, but it does for me. Same on this side, of course. And now all these packs are all disconnected. Now you can see here, I've got some packs which have got voltages written on them. Yeah, those are maybe right, maybe wrong, I don't know. Yeah, these ones are not poor quality. Some of them are. That's 6 volts. 6 volts there, as you can see. It's obviously been done many times. Started off as being 7.98 by the looks, and now it's 6 volts. And then we got, so that's 7.19. So basically the next stage now is to go through with a meter and record the voltages. Right, now I have here, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 packs here, plus the ones that are in it. So basically all you do is you go through, right, and then just simply take out the 11 with the lowest voltage, and then what remains should be a reasonable pack. Now these are ones that I bought before, and some of these have come out of something that's actually good. That's why I believe it's these 4 here that are actually the problem. So there's got to be 4 good ones from this set. So all I need to do is just pick the ones with the highest voltage and include those, and then that'll do. If I didn't have these, then I'd have to buy some, and they're 30 quid a pop. So I think potentially this one would have needed 4, which is 120 quid. Yeah. So that means that this battery would have probably cost 120 quid, but because I actually have got some already, and these are part charged, they're all part charged. I believe the optimal charge is 60%, so they don't have to be fully charged, right? And I'm picking the ones with the highest voltage because they do naturally have a stable voltage when they're resting. And the Prius tries to keep them at a certain amount of charge, well, generally between 20 and 80, but it tries to maintain them optimally at 60% charge. So I'm relatively convinced that these will all be a roughly the same charge level. The ones that have got low voltage, they'll be the ones which are basically self-discharged. They're the shit ones. So the ones that have low voltage, it's an indication that the pack's degraded, essentially. This pack, as if it were. So if we deselect those, put the other ones in there, and obviously we just pick the ones with the highest voltage, and then we're fine. And then that battery should be redone. And then I could start chucking some of these away. There's a couple at 6 volts which I should just basically dispose of. There's 2, isn't there? This one here and this one here, those are no good. The voltage should be above 7 volts. A reasonably well charged one will be at 8 volts. Yeah. So if it's at 6 volts, then forget it. You know, for whatever reason, you just if it's at 6 volts now, that means it's basically flat. And if it's been stood flat, then it's fucked. You see, and these, I haven't put these in for best part of a year, so they'll be fucked. But they were 6 volts when they came out. That's why it's written on it. So I'm guessing now they're probably less. So I'll go over these and basically write the voltages on here. Yeah, I'll have to cross out some of these. They've got voltages written on or something, I don't know. So that's the next stage basically. But what I might do beforehand, it's probably easier to just measure the voltages while they're in. Obviously, these are going to have to be this pack's going to have to be dismantled. This has got, you can see there's corrosion on it here. There was corrosion on here, but I've already removed this and replaced it once, and it's just crap. It just naturally comes off in your fingers. The trick is basically to feed in some WD-40 just to make sure it's all covered in WD-40, so that it then means that it's coated, and when it goes back on, I mean, you can clean them up, but to be honest, I'm not going to bother, because the WD-40 itself will take care of the problem. So yeah, I mean, if you were, you could go over it with like you know, some wire brush or something, just to dust off it, but it's just too much effort. And it's, you can see what it is, and WD-40 itself, it's water dispersant, right? So if there's moisture in there, the WD-40 will killed it off, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So the next stage obviously is to do the voltages. Once I've actually selected the I don't know, is it 22 packs, whatever there is, number of packs in there. Once I've selected the best ones, then I reassemble the battery accordingly. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and sometimes it can be a real bitch to get them in. You basically have to make sure that they're slotted together properly like this, right? And then what I did last time is I actually put this end plate on and then fastened it on and compressed them together, otherwise the holes don't line up. I think that the idea, the way that they do it in Toyota, essentially, is that they actually assemble it with this bit and that bit outside, as if it were. So you basically take the whole thing off of the chassis, yeah, and then you do whatever you need to do to the pack, and then reassemble it with the end plates on, and then you put it back on the chassis. I think that's the way that they normally do it. You see the bolts there, there's a couple of bolts down there, you see, and you can't get to those, can you? So that's why I assume. And the easiest way to remove this is basically to turn the battery over, right? And then just simply undo all the bolts. Undo these ones first. Oh, they're missing actually. Yeah, I think there's one there. Is there one there? Yeah, there's one there. So undo that, basically. This one's actually missing. Undo that. This one's missing too. I think they're in the car actually. Right, and then there's yeah, you can see the holes, can't you? Yeah, there's one being buried in there, two have been buried in there. I think these two were actually new ones. Yeah, so they might get used this time. Yeah, and one snapped off is fine, the rest will hold it in place. Yeah, so you undo all the bolts underneath it and those corner bolts, and then this whole thing, I'm guessing, should just lift off. Obviously undo the connections here as well, or just move this out of the way so that it can come off. Yeah. Yep, which I'll be doing possibly this afternoon, but I need to do voltages. But I'm going to take a break now and actually do my other job, which is some kernel development.